All right, so let's kind of focus on geometric items. In essence, the dimensioning process, keep in mind that all features need a location and a size dimension. Sometimes the size dimension is a location dimension. When we look at individual features, we want to deal with height, width, and depth, which means we're going to probably 2 views at a minimum for most features. First thing we always want to do is contour dimensioning, then we do associative dimensioning, then we do grouping. Now, I don't expect, as I call you to come up here, that you may put things in the wrong spot or the right spot or whatever the case might be. I don't really care. We're just going to put them up there, we're going to discuss them. Now, what I'd like you to do first when I call on somebody to come up here, I'm going to ask you to do size and locations. Keep in mind, we'll come through later and do these. Okay? So all I want at the first part is that when I say, hey, can you take care of, how about this negative positive cylinder? Somebody would come up here, they would go ahead and locate, they would size. We're just going to leave them up there, maybe discuss them for a few, but we're going to come back and look at all of this second. So with that said, Gabe, let's start with you. If you'd come up here and sketch, let's do that negative and positive cylinder. Can you do the location and size of those 2 holes? And just sketch them on a marker. Yeah, please. Yeah, don't use a permanent marker.
Well, were you left-handed?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Should I do it how I did on my paper? Or just,
Yeah. In fact, if you want to go grab your paper, you can.
Okay. Because, like, some of my dimensions were in the way, so I put like the weird, like.
For now, just throw them out there and we'll discuss locations. Okay?
And then, hold on.
Okay. Thanks, Gabe. All right, so let's look at it. Now, we're only going to deal with the first 2 as we go through the first time. First off, did we locate? So we have, what 2 locations here? Width and depth, right? Okay. So I would argue, and somebody weigh in, is this thing located?
No.
You're
When
saying?
that pointed, you have to go through this, you don't know how, where's it coming
Why
from?
wouldn't it be located?
That
You have
depth
to
is
tell
like
what the
there.
center
You have
is.
to go
The
from this
depth
side over.
is not.
Why do I have to come from this side over? Can't I come from this side?
Yeah, you can.
Did you do the full thing? I mean, you have to,
We're just dealing with the cylinders.
oh, okay.
We're just dealing with the cylinder.
You got your plan, you got that.
Okay? So we think that's okay? We've got located. Generally, you
Well-
locate in the circular view. I would argue that it is, in my mind. Now, Lisa saying, you were saying, well, I need to come from here. That is based on 2 things. Okay. One, that you know how the part's being used and what's the important dimension. Okay. For now, we don't know how the part's being used, so this one's just as good as this one. Both of them would be correct in my mind. Is anybody argue with that? Okay. Then go to size. Have we got them sized? Height,
Yes.
width, depth.
Height. Would you want to know
Height
that?
is given. Okay.
But where that other cylinder goes all the way through, would you want it
We're
to?
just doing it next.
Okay. Height is given. Size.
You need one more.
Okay. Like that? Size? Okay. So in my mind, unless somebody has a different opinion, I'd say we're located, we have size. Yes.
The positive cylinder, you don't have the height of the positive cylinder. So
Yeah.
You have to do the height there.
He does have the height of the positive cylinder.
From
No,
the
you don't.
outside.
From the face up.
The base you don't know, because you don't know how that point is.
From here to here.
Yeah, but the positive cylinder goes from, what about from here to here, so you don't know
It's
what
up
that is.
there. It's right up
So
there.
you don't have to do that.
Okay, but yeah, but we're just dealing with that, so he could get that.
Oh,
We haven't got the
yeah.
complete picture.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I would buy that. Now,
Okay.
certainly, keep in mind, we're gonna come back and we're gonna fine tune this once we have all of it. Hey, this is a good, what I'm talking about here, this is a good methodology to go about correctly dimensioning an object. Take each individual feature, locate size, height, width, depth. Okay? So let's, before we start talking the little tiny intricate details, we're gonna wait till we get to the end. So just look at the individual items and say that's it. All right, so we've got that. Let's stick with cylinders. Declan, how about these two negative cylinders? Can you locate and size height, width, depth? Sure.
Press harder.
Can't see it.
I can't see it. You see that?
Okay. Thanks, Declan. Okay, so let's talk locate first. Okay, so we see the locations over here. Okay, now we have two of these. Since Declan, you used on your size a 2 by. By the way, I'll just correct one thing. It's, the X follows. Okay? So we've got a 2 by. That, I would argue that's size. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have an alternate for the size? Okay, not unless we sectioned it, then we would see it probably here or here, right? Okay, that's the only other time. Okay, so how about locations? Sean?
So on the vertical dimension, it kind of looks like he's going from the edge to the bottom of the circle.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to go to your center?
I actually, yeah, I tried.
Is that supposed to go to the center?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
I wasn't
Okay.
paying attention.
Okay, so let's change that. I would kind of say, keep in mind that, where are they gonna put the drill bit? So that's what you meant, right, Declan?
Yeah, I hit the
Okay.
center.
Now, does that count for both holes? And let's just talk the height dimension. Does this count for both holes?
Yeah,
Yes, why, Amy?
because you put the 2 by, right?
Nope.
No?
Not quite, not quite, that's the size.
Oh,
Is the center line?
yeah, because it's the center line.
Yes, center line connects them to, shows they're on the same height axis. Okay, so that one height dimension locates both of them in the Y direction. What about the X direction? Or actually, it would be the Z direction, depth, but. What do we think there?
Dimension between the center line and the 2.
So,
Oh, and then, well, I would still.
this
to
one's
make it clear-
located.
Yep.
To make it clear.
What about this one?
I would
No.
The dimension between the two of those two, center line, center to center, just to make it more clear.
Okay, so Lisa's saying she would go there. I would argue either there
Or there.
or there.
Yep.
6 of one, half dozen of another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
But would you want all three side by side?
Wouldn't it kind of just depend on like the use of the,
It
whether you would want the distance between the holes matters more than the distance between the edge to the hole?
Great point. Yes,
Yeah.
that has everything to do with it. And I hope you're kind of picking this out with dimensioning. When we dimension, in essence, we're telling them how to build it, right? And what's important with the part. Now, granted, we don't really know on this, but Sean, you brought up a great point. If the dimension that's important is the distance in between these two, then I need that one. Okay? If the dimension from the sides is important, I would put those two. We don't really know that, so for this, I'll just leave it alone. But certainly, that's a question we would ask the designer, which may be us if we had some experience. It's probably somebody else as you come straight out of college. Okay? So I'll just leave it like that, but it could be in the middle just as easily as it could as the way I've got it drawn. Okay? All right, have we located? Do we need this? What was that for, Declan?
I just had it on the paper.
It's actually a depth of the hole, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, but with a through hole, we dimension that here because we don't have depth, therefore it goes all the way through. So can I remove this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all of the cylinders taken care of, correct? Sean, can you take care of this rectangle right here? So height, width, depth, size, location. Just this rectangle. Okay. So we have, in the front view, we have height and width. Where's your depth dimension?
So wouldn't you want to put it, wouldn't you want to put the width of it over here to keep everything on the same side for you to mention?
I don't know.
Great answer. Thanks.
Looks to me like a depth dimension. And remember, you're looking at just that rectangle. Don't worry about the other features, just that one. Okay? All right, do we have X, Y, Z? Any thoughts?
Other places, but.
Okay. Are we done with that one? Okay, great. So, in essence, we really only have one more feature. It's this rectangle right here. Okay. By the way, when Sean did width, height, depth, those are size locations, but they're also location dimensions, correct? Because they do the same thing. Okay, so we don't have to locate those. So we got this last rectangle. Missy, you know I'm calling on you.
You got it, Missy, come on.
Height, width, depth.
You know when they're gonna
Of those
call on you and
files.
you're just like,
You got it.
I just looked for but I couldn't remember.
You already have this.
stuck those stupid.
Oh, no, hold on. All we want
Oh,
is
sorry.
this rectangle right here.
Right, so I'm
Okay.
just bringing it up to
Okay.
group it.
Okay.
Because we have this, or is that not right?
No, you go ahead and do it how you want.
Because I was gonna do it this way.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, alright.
Okay, there's height and width.
And depth. Try and put it here, and this one would be out here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for. Kind of hard to come up there and do that and remember what you did on your sheet, isn't it? Okay, so, Missy, you've got width and you've got height, but then you did height twice. Because here was your height and here's this, that's the same dimension, that's height.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But with that said,
Everything else.
Sean already did depth here. Okay, so it would, the same dimension for both. Okay. So, look at the items. Are there size? Are they located? Do you have height, width, depth for every feature? Yes, we do. Nice job. Yes, Amy?
So, like, you know how that cylinder is like in the middle, kind of? How would we dimension that? Like,
You talking this guy?
would we
That-
put one from like one end to like the other end and see that space, or should we do it? Would it be easier to do it on the top?
That's what we're getting ready to deal with right now. Okay, so once we've done this, okay, folks, that's generally the first step as you sketch these things. And I'd highly recommend you sketch them because especially the way we're doing it now where you're printing them and then taking them out and doing it by hand, you need to know that spacing so you got enough room to do things. Then we want to go through and we want to do contour dimensioning. Make sure that those dimensions can go in the place where we see the profile of the feature or the contour of the feature. Or, as the text says, the geometric look at the feature, right? They're all kind of synonymous. Now, let's start with the negative and positive cylinders. So let's just kind of repeat the process again. So we have size. Is this a rectangular or positive cylinder? It's a positive cylinder, right? It's got mass. Okay. So I think Gabe had that one, diameter. That's our first choice. Until we get something that drives us off of it, we're going to leave it there. I'd agree with that. Where have we sized the negative? In the circular view. Okay. So again, that's good. That's got that one. And we locate. Okay, so this locates x, y. In essence, this is really a size, even though it's also a locate. So that is there. Do we have them in the best contour look? And that's the last step. That's grouping.
Oh.
Let me just ask you this. Where do you see the best look at height?
In the front.
in the front view. Okay, don't we have the best contour look of that cylinder in the front view?
Yeah.
Now, in essence, this is the identical look here and here, but here I've got the thing isolated. Okay. That's the only change I would make on this. And it's just because I've got it isolated. Is this wrong? No, no, it's not. But it's, maybe could be a little clearer. Now, do we want to pull from here up or the base up?
From the.
That goes back to what Sean brought up earlier. What's important with the part? For this one, there could be multiples. We don't really know what the part's being used for. The only thing I would say, let's leave that same dimension and the same guidelines. Put it there. And now the strict reason we would do that would be for contours. Okay? Because I see a better look at that height. And folks, if we make changes, is that bad? No, it's part of the process. It's not bad at all. In fact, it means we're thinking and we're doing. We can't make all these choices immediately off the bat. That's why we have a word you will hear time and time again in drafting called revision. Revision, revision. That's the thing that is job security. All right, so I think we're good. Okay. All right, these guys. Probably our best look at it, right? Because we've got hidden lines, hidden lines. So we know we can't deal with those. Everything has to go over there. We've got the sides and locations. As far as contour goes, they're done. And anybody got anything else to think on those?
Yeah, you don't know how, so you don't know how far from the top, you don't know how from the base, still don't know where to put them.
Don't need no distance from the base, maybe.
You don't need to for contour, I mean, that's
Yeah,
where do you put that? I mean, I couldn't draw it from that.
But it's already specified in your front view.
Yeah, you could.
You
If
could?
you have the height of this thing, we just turn around
I'll
and
just
come
go
back
back
down.
to
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, you haven't done the height yet.
No, we haven't, but we're going to.
Okay.
Amy, you had something?
Well, I went from the center to the bottom. I didn't go from the top to the bottom.
Okay, so that's what Lisa's kind of saying, you're coming from here to the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, and again, I think that's, either, that would be correct, but I couldn't have this and this, I've got to have one of the two. Okay. Since I think Declan, this was yours, we're going to leave it where you left it. Okay. But keep in mind, like Amy and Lisa are both saying, is it incorrect to have this dimension? No, it's not. Okay. It again falls back to what's important to the part. Okay, so we're all right on that. This rectangle? Width? Depth? Height?
Wait, where's depth?
Up there.
That's depth. Okay.
Sean, I think you asked the question, can I put it up here? And I think you were weighing and putting it over here. That's going to come up again, and it's going to have to deal with this item. Okay. Right now, it's correct. Okay. So that one's good. Then we look at this guy. So we have height. We have, let's see, what else are we looking for? Height. There's depth. Where's width?
The red line under the black line on top.
Okay, so from here to here,
Yeah.
okay? Now, when we did that, so we located, this is correct. We've got this dimension, so we're going to come from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come from here to here, and that's going to give us the overall depth, or width, excuse me. What's the preferred on that?
To do it all in one.
Let's do it on the top.
Do we generally give the entire width?
Yeah.
The overall's
For
preferred
variation.
usually, right? Because remember, they gotta have a place to bury that slot. So I agree that that does the dimension. It goes ahead and does it. But it would be preferred if we had it here and not this one. Right?
Yeah.
Always give the overall if possible. Now this does the same thing where you're locating or sizing from here to here. They've got this one, they can bury their slot anywhere they want in here. Because remember, this thing won't be built to the size we tell them. We can always measure error. Okay, so that's, in my mind, we've taken care of that. Anybody want to weigh in on anything we've talked about so far? Then you're going to move to this, associative. What's associative? Putting dimensions in between so they can be used with two views. Are there any changes you folks think need to be made for associative? What way?
First of all, I would take the center line, because it coincides with that center line, I would dimension for the location from that into there, because then it tells you the location also of the positive soil. You don't know the location, positive soil is down there.
You would say use
On
it.
top, I would locate here, I would locate from this dimension from here to here, to be coincide, because then that gives you that one also.
But you have the overall
So
length.
get these two together, so you know where this one goes, and then you know where this location is. Put those two together. Instead of,
Well, what's the difference between that edge and this edge? It's still the same center.
Yeah.
I mean, because this one they're referencing from this edge, you're just saying you want to reference from this edge.
yeah.
I don't think that really matters. Becca says she doesn't think it matters.
Uh-uh. Because we already have it, that last dimension we put that we moved has a full length of it. So you already have it. So if you wanted to do it that way, you could just minus that length from that one and you still have it.
Full length that way or full length that way.
Yep.
Yeah, you still have it.
Okay. so-
One thing I would say, we'll get right to you one, is do not locate off of this.
Yeah.
That was my-
Locate cylinders, both positive and negative, on the circular view